It might be snowing in Toronto, but it is warm in sunny Texas. In the last month of 2021, my friends and I met up and spent 5 days exploring Texas together. This one here is Stone. He recently moved to Austin and is going to be our guide. This is Calvin. This one here is Brendan. The last one here is me, Mary. To fill our hungry bellies, Stone took us to Gus' world-famous fried chicken. Thin, crispy skin fried with 100% peanut oil and juicy meat. Maybe it was the hunger speaking, but it was the best fried chicken I have ever had. Our first stop in Texas is to get an outfit upgrade at Allen's Boots, the iconic cowboy boot store. With over 4,000 different boots and hundreds of hats to choose from, anyone can transform into a cowboy or a cowgirl here. After dinner, we took a peek at the nightlife in Austin, on Rainy Street and 6th Street East. Rainy Street had a more chill atmosphere, with many interesting historical houses that have been converted into restaurants and bars. 6th Street East, also known as 36th, give off more of a boozy vibe, like your typical urban entertainment district. Good morning, Austin! We began our event for day 2 with some delicious breakfast and lunch tacos at Veracruz. The tortillas we chose were fluffy and slightly grainy because they were made with cornmeal. We each got a migas taco and a meat taco of our choice. A migas taco is a breakfast taco with eggs, tomatoes, avocados, cheese, and tortilla chips. It is very flavorful and yummy. This place is quite popular, but these freshly prepared tacos are definitely worth the wait. Strolling down the Ann and Butler hike and bike trail along Town Lake, we made our way to our first outdoor activity of the day, kayaking. The staff from Capital Cruises were super friendly and made it easy for us to go from walking to paddling. The weather was perfect and the scenery was lovely. After accidentally bumping into each other a few times, we finally got the hang of it. As we paddled west, we passed the Austin Skylines and Zilker Park. After crossing multiple bridges and making a turn left, we finally arrived at Barton Creek. The water here was unbelievably clear. I could see turtles swimming and plants swaying. Continuing the theme of nature today, we made our way north to see some gorgeous creatures at Mayfield Park. Historic cottages, tranquil garden, towering palm trees, and majestic peacocks. This beautiful park is family-friendly and free to enter. There are also several short trails in and around the estate. Our last outdoor activity of the day is a hike up Mont Bonnell to catch the sunset. It took almost no time to make it to the top, and the view was breathtaking. Many celebrities and affluent techies have houses along the river, like Matthew McConaughey and Elon Musk. We had a light breakfast, kayaked, and hiked to burn as many calories as we could, preparing ourselves for the night's big feast. The number one thing to do on my Texas bucket list is to try the world-famous Texas barbecue, and it was definitely worth the hype. Stone told us that what everyone calls Texas barbecue, Texans call Central Texas barbecue. and Austin is the heart of Central Texas barbecue.
Can we let's do a pound of brisket, half lean, half fatty.
Half lean, half fatty? Yeah. Check it out. We'll start you off with the fatty cut. Actually, I have the best part of the entire brisket right here. Check that out, y'all.
Is that the burnt?
That is the burnt end. That is going to be like Texas candy right there, y'all.
What is unique about this style is that the meats are seasoned with only salt and pepper to emphasize the flavor of the meat and wood, rather than the accompanying sauces. After being meticulously smoked for 14 hours, all the meats became extremely tender and flavorful. We ordered pork and beef ribs, jalapeno cheese and original sausages, and the king of Texas barbecue, brisket. Everything was also delicious, but my favorite was the brisket. Stone worried that we ordered too much food. Oh boy, did we prove him wrong by finishing just about everything. Let's just say I would go to Austin anytime just for the barbecue. As if the peach cobbler and the pecan pie was not enough, we walked up South Congress Avenue to try the famous Amy's ice cream. The store and the staff were very cute, but it was a little too sweet for my taste. Nevertheless, it was good to walk off all the barbecue. And the view from the Congress Avenue Bridge was really nice at night. You can find a lot of Mexican influence on Texas culture and cuisine, as the state was once a part of Mexico. Ciscos restaurant was established in 1950 and is the oldest Tex-Mex restaurant in Austin. This restaurant is a locals classic with friendly servers and homely food. On the menu, you can find crispy tacos, cheesy enchiladas, all served with sides of rice and beans, as well as their claim to fame, the huevos rancheros, which the restaurant claims to have invented. Hearty, filling, and wallet-friendly is how I would describe our first meal on day 3. Most visitors to Texas typically explore the Big Triangle of Dallas, San Antonio, and Houston, but we decided to do our own a smaller triangle of Austin, Fredericksburg, and San Antonio. Stone is a big fan of German culture, and Fredericksburg is a town founded by German settlers. The town just celebrated the 175th anniversary of its founding in 2021. It is the largest community of Texans of German descent who have developed their own unique dialect of German over time.
Germans call it a Stinktier, stink animal, and they call it a Stinkkatz, which is a stinky cat.
After over an hour of driving through the hilly roads of the Texas Hill Country, we made it to Fredericksburg. Most people know Fredericksburg as the birthplace of Admiral Chester Nimitz. The National Museum of the Pacific War is also the most popular tourism attraction here in his honor. Before we entered the museum, we grabbed a cup of refreshing peach tea from Tubby's Ice House. I entered the museum with very little knowledge about this part of modern history. Immediately upon entry, I got overwhelmed by the information provided. From the corrupted Qing dynasty at the end of the 19th century to the surrender of Japan in 1945, it was a great way to learn about the Pacific War from America's perspective. The inside was not too big, but every inch of space was well used. There were a lot on display and many interactive games.
It's not anti-aircraft. I'm going to say it's field artillery.
It's anti-K.
Oh,
Just look at how it can't actually pivot that high because it's got a thing blocking here, but it can pivot down.
oh.
Plus, it's really small caliber. How you can tell it's not an M5 Stewart is that the front hull there is really sloped at the top there, and then it evens out. The M5 Stewart has a straight plate that goes down.
Kelvin and Stone are experts and equally enjoy the experience. There's also a garden outside, created in the Japanese style to commemorate the hard-earned peace. I did not expect to spend the entire afternoon here, but I was glad I did. For dinner, we went to the Auslander, meaning foreigner, which we are, for some authentic bratwurst and klops, which were German sausages and meatballs. Day 4, We grabbed some pastries from the old German bakery and began exploring downtown. St. Mary's German Catholic Church had intricate interior design and beautiful stained glass windows. Marktplatz von Fredericksburg was the community center of the town. The Vereinskirche, meaning community church, and now a museum, was the first building in Fredericksburg.
Und die Herrlichkeit in Ewigkeit. Amen.
The statues in the garden of John O. Moisebach and the Comanche Indians captured the only unbroken peace treaty between Native Americans and European settlers. Before we made our way to San Antonio, we stopped at Looking Back, a tiny trading post with Wild West aesthetics and live country music. San Antonio is the second largest city in Texas, after Houston. Due to its history as a Spanish settlement and then as the capital of the Mexican province of Texas, the city is a colorful blend of Mexican and Texan culture. Our first stop in San Antonio is the famous Alamo, where a group of brave Texans sacrificed their lives for the independence of Texas. In 1836, in the face of 4,000 Mexican soldiers, 180 Texans held off a 13-day siege inside this former Roman Catholic mission and fortress. The staff here did a great job in protecting this heritage site. As the guide said, the spirit of the Alamo continues in Texas till this day. The Riverwalk Park area gave us an American Venice vibe. Winding river canals and festival lights. Grabbing margaritas and enjoying live performances is a great way to spend time here. Historic Market Square is like the real-life Coco. Colorful paper picado hanging all over the square, with cute merchandise displayed across various stores. After walking and window shopping, it is time to have some authentic salsa, guacamole, and nachos at Mi Tierra Cafe and Bakery. San Fernando Cathedral had a weekly light show called Saga. It was not just a simple video projection, but incorporated the design of the cathedral's facade into the show. The 24-minute light show told the history of San Antonio using turbulating imagery, and was definitely worth checking out. La Panaderia Bakery Cafe had some great sourdough sandwiches and oleja dipped in chocolate. They were so good that I forgot to take a video. On our way back to Austin, we stopped at the famous Buc-ee's and bought some souvenirs. It was the largest travel center I've been to. The last thing on our group's Texas to-do list is a visit to the gun range. The range had a large selection of firearms and accessories, as well as helpful staff for fair prices. Calvin had a blast there because he finally got to fire automatic rifles. It was hard to find a more scenic place to have a meal than the Oasis. However, the food was not on the same level as the view, so we chatted and watched the Fat Birds video. Slowly but surely, the sun set and the stars came out. We began heading back downtown. We made a quick stop at the University of Texas at Austin. The campus was quiet under moonlight. For dinner, we chose Dip 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 Tatsuya to satisfy our Asian bellies. The truffle sukiyaki dipped wagyu melted instantly in my mouth and was definitely the highlight. Our 5-day Texas trip was filled with amazing food, scenery, and experiences. cannot wait to come back for more barbecue.